Welcome to Vibes of India. I'm Janvi, and today we'll be discussing on a very interesting fitness journey. Well, when we start working towards our career, when we start making money, or when we get married, we often miss out on the most important thing in our life, and that is fitness, our health. And today we'll be talking to Purvi Shah. She'll be telling us how, like, after pursuing her CA, or after getting married, or after having two kids, how did she transform from her busy life to being a very fitness person? So yeah, Purvi, welcome to Vibes of India.
Thank you so much.
We're so grateful to have you on the show.
Thank you, Janvi, for inviting me.
Yeah, so Purvi, just now you were telling me that there came a time in your life when even walking 3 kilometers was a tough thing.
Absolutely.
So tell me about that phase and then what you transformed to.
Sure. So as I told you that, like after my chartered accountancy and masters in business administration, I got into corporate world. I got married to my boyfriend, then I had kids, and life was perfect. Like I was earning well, we were happy, we were like raising two wonderful kids. And then suddenly a couple of friends, we started thinking to participate in this Pinkathon that was coming to Ahmedabad. And then we just registered for like
The
a weekend fun.
competition,
Weekend fun, not like girls will go and we'll have some fun. And I figured that I'm not going to be registering. It was 3K and 5K or mostly 10K as well. But we were only considering 3K and 5K between us. So most my friends went for 5K and I was not sure because I did not remember last time when I walked that much. So I registered myself for 3K. And I was seeing my friends also being able to at least jog for the entire 5K distance, while I had to practically walk 3 kilometers, the entire 3 kilometers.
Okay.
And it was not that I was like out of shape, or I was never on the plus side or anything. I mean, I with this body also I could not walk.
Okay.
So that was alarming. That was telling me that like my cardiovascular ability is getting down. And the alarming question was, at that point in time, I never thought that my journey is going to be this interesting.
Okay.
I only thought that if at the age of 60, I'm going to be able to travel the world, will I be able to enjoy that travel?
Life, yeah.
Will I be able to enjoy that life if my health will not permit me to do things that I would like to do? So that is how I, like began this journey of, I thought that I need to set up a goal. Being a very goal-oriented person, I thought I need to set a goal so that I can work towards achieving it. So my first goal was to be able to run a half marathon that is happening in the city, like say 4 or 5 months from the day that thought crossed my mind. And I started my journey like that, training for a half marathon to becoming an Ironman today.
Interesting.
Yes.
What was the most challenging part of your journey? Like, just because to start something is so easy, but consistency is the biggest challenge.
Ask me about it. I registered for a half marathon. I did a half marathon. I did my first BRM, which is like a 200 kilometer of cycling during that phase of 4 months, 5 months of the journey. And then I stopped everything altogether.
Okay.
Like for 1 year, I did nothing.
Okay.
And then just because I ran that half marathon, I was qualified to run Mumbai Marathon because of the timing.
Yeah.
And I just registered for Mumbai Marathon and I did very bad because I stopped training.
Yeah.
I finished it, but I finished like in 2 hours 45 minutes. That half marathon, and then I figured that consistency is important. Even once you begin on the journey of getting fit, it's not sufficient that you run one half marathon and you're it's a part of your life. It has to be a part of your life. That is something that you do every day. There could be goals for you to be constantly able to bring that motivation in everyday training, that that you're training for something. So those goals can be temporary, but the journey of fitness is continuous journey that you have to show up every day and do it.
Okay.
To be able to get fit, to be able to stay fit for the rest of your life.
True. Yes. And tell us something about this Ironman competition. Why this one, and what was your experience of like?
Sure. So as I told you that for the entire 1 year I did nothing, and I figured that a couple of our folks from Ahmedabad, Ingit Anand and Anand Marar, they became first man from Ahmedabad to do this competition, which is Ironman competition. That's how I learned about this competition. And this competition is, I'll just tell you briefly what it is. The full Ironman distance competition is 3.8 kilometers of swimming, which is followed by 180 kilometers of cycling, and that is followed by a full marathon, which is 42 kilometers of running. And in all the three disciplines, you have to do one after another without taking a break. And this you have to complete within a specific time limit. At certain places it is 16 hours, at certain places it is 17 hours.
Okay.
So in this time limit you have to complete your race, and when you complete this race you become Ironman.
Okay.
And it was very interesting, you know. I was just running at that point in time, and I really found it super interesting that it is ultimate goal that you can set for your body. That you have so much of an endurance to sustain the 17 hours in a day. I mean, at times you're not even awake for 17 hours. Forget about like continuously doing a rigorous exercise for 17 hours. So I really found it very exciting, and I thought it's an amazing goal to set for yourself. At that point in time, I thought so. But I did not know how to, actually develop that kind of an endurance, prepare
because
for it.
Swimming and
I did not have that kind of a time also, honestly speaking. I could not train every day. I only could train when I set a goal, and I know that after 2 months there is half marathon, or after 2 months there is an event. So Ingrid brought this small version of Ironman, which is a triathlon in Ahmedabad. So Gandhinagar, he started these races wherein we will swim in the pool, and then we will cycle in the Gandhinagar on those designated routes, and then we will run. So it was fun. So I participated in a very small distance, Olympic distance race in Gandhinagar, and I started training for it on my own, and I registered for it. I participated in it, and since there were very few women at that point in time, I ended up finishing third and securing a podium. So it was very exciting. I realized that I realized that this concept is new for Ahmedabadis. So yes, let's grab this opportunity and do something which is so exciting and you are able to do. And so another year I again trained for it, and I did half distance. I mean half distance of what I've done now. And then I set my goal for the full distance. I thought I can do it. I have the ability and I can train for it. Luckily, I found a friend of mine who agreed to train me. Huma, he is also an Ironman himself, and he agreed to train me. That okay, fine, I'll train you. And the COVID struck, which was a silver lining. At the beginning, we were very depressed because of it, because it affected our work, it affected the education of my kids. But then, I had an option. I had an option of taking this chance, because I knew that with school working and my office, I will never be able to otherwise get this 15 to 16 hours every week out of my schedule. And in the morning, when I'm always busy dropping kids to the bus stop and cooking for them, and
you won't have the time.
Even if I want, I can't do it every day. I can do it on the weekends, I can't do it every day. And then you have your family commitments during weekend also.
So that's when you utilize it.
I grabbed an opportunity that I will train and I will attempt for this. But then, because of COVID, I did not realize that it will stretch too long. So I registered for a race that was going to happen in April this year. But it did stretch that long, and that race got cancelled in Texas. So again I left with no goal on hand, and I was so disappointed, because I knew that once the school will reopen, I am not being able to train. Because being mother, we
do not have the time.
We have this thing, we always take the responsibility and we want to do everything ourselves. So I knew that I won't be able to, but luckily, I could find a race where I, as an Indian, can go travel and participate in a race.
And that's what
I was so determined that I want to try before the COVID ends.
True. And tell me about this whole guilt trip that moms go through, especially, or the misogynistic guilt that women have. And how did you overcome that?
Honestly, I haven't. Okay, but I realized that this guilt is always going to be there. For you not being able to do certain things every day. But then that's a choice. I mean, we can't do everything. So every day, I think I every day made a choice. What is important today? So just focus on that, forget about tomorrow. Tomorrow I will make that choice again.
Okay.
If
That's very interesting,
if it is important for me to be beside my kids, if they are not well, I will make that choice, but I'm not going to be thinking that I might have to make that choice, so today I will not train. Today I will train. I might have to be with them, I might have to be at work, or I might have to be at home for whatever reason, but then in that moment I will make a choice. I also realized it is very important for us as a women to detach from that emotion. Because I do remember, while training, I know that like
the back of your mind, it's always
at the back of my mind, they need me and I'm not there. So there were times I was not 100% present on the training, but I still anyway chose to train, because I know that I am going to be there. It's just a matter of 2 hours. So it is important to detach yourself. It's not easy. I have not been able to do that, but I knew the concept that I need to detach.
True.
And there were days that I chose to train midnight. Because I had to be available for them in the morning. Or I have to
kind of sacrifices moms have to make.
Everyone has to make that sacrifice. It's just a matter of choice. I think we are always sacrificing something or the other. It's about choosing what to sacrifice when. There were days I have cried out aloud. There were days that my own body did not support me, because I had those long trainings, 5 hours of a training, and I was in periods. I mean, I had to make that choice whether to train or not, but then I don't have a choice. If I am letting go of this particular block of 5 hours, which is an important block in my training, I am not going to get that 5 hour on a Monday or a Tuesday.
So you had to, like you.
I think that strength comes from within, that you don't have a choice. Just forget.
Just
forget
plunge into that.
Just go and do it.
So that's the thing, that you've still not overcome that.
But I think that makes you stronger. When you endure that pain, that makes you a lot more stronger, and in your head you know that you can deal with any pain. If you can deal with that pain of your body, those morning swims, 4-5 a.m. swims when it was completely pitch dark, I was all alone in the pool, the dogs were barking around. It was scary. 2 hours all alone in the pool, 2.5 hours all alone in the pool, just the water and nothing else, So but I think those loneliness make you more stronger. That can connect with you, yourself and your strength in ways that you have not
even realized
because of always availability of everything around you.
True.
That time you're just alone there with yourself. So I think that makes you stronger in a way.
And tell us, what's your day like now? Like, what are the things that even after the competition or even after that is over, what are the practices that you still follow when it comes to food and diet?
So that is very interesting. Over this journey, there are certain things that have now become naturally a part of me. That you always make a wise choice. When it comes to food, also that how much you need to eat, how much
the portion balance.
Balance. Honestly, I'm not a very a person of supplements. So even during my entire journey, even when I had to put in so much of hours of a training, I have never relied on any supplement. I have typically gone for our typical Gujarati bhakri and peanut butter and our Himalayan salt and coconut water. This is my nutrition which I trust on when I am doing my training. So even after the race is finished, I now know, my mind knows that what to eat and how much to eat to stay healthy, even after even when I'm not putting now those 15-16 hours of training every week. Because obviously when you are doing it, you can eat everything and it is digested. Right now I know that I'm not doing that training, but I need to eat wise to be able to stay at least fit. I take steps every day to walk to my office or to my home, because I know that I'm not putting those 15 hours, but I still need to maintain my fitness. So I take steps, I avoid lifts, and I try to incorporate a small routine of yoga and strength. At the moment I'm not doing because I realize that I have done a lot of cardio and in a process that I have now figured that I need to balance it with my muscle strength.
So these are the changes that you made in your day. And tell us, how has that competition changed you as a person?
Oh wow, it has changed. I think I have become a lot more patient.
Okay.
I was.
You're not that.
I'm not a patient kind. I was very impatient as a person, be it at office, work, or with kids at times. But I think it has taught me one thing, that everything is going to end.
Yeah.
Every difficulty is going to end. When I began that race, I knew that it's going to end after 17 hours.
Yeah. It's
You know,
finite.
whatever. Yeah, everything ends. I mean,
Yeah.
everything has a definite end.
Yeah.
So for you, there's nothing in the world that you need to sweat over. You
Yeah.
know? Every pain or
The
every
biggest
happiness
lesson,
also for that
even
matter.
happiness.
Nothing is going to stay. It's going to end. So
Yeah.
you don't need to be arrogant when you're happy. You don't need to sweat when you're in pain.
In pain.
So that is the biggest lesson I've had. Also, I saw and witnessed a lot of athletes out there.
Yeah.
So I learned that people are a lot more kinder in the world, and you don't need to be just be competitive all the time.
Okay.
You can.
So you saw kindness even in your competitors.
Yes.
Okay.
They're so super kind. Also, I saw a lot of people out there in the alien and the foreign country who are so willing to help you.
Okay.
You know, you're there. I was there all alone for like 20 days to train. I wanted to understand the water because we don't have open water here, and we were to swim in ocean. So I wanted to understand the water. That is supposed to be a very windier course. So I wanted to understand the island, the wind and everything. So I went there early. And so many strangers helped me in so many ways.
Okay.
That I knew that I'm not able to pay them back.
Okay.
So one thing I learned, that we don't need to, you know, like exactly be kind to the people who are kind to us.
Yeah.
The things that we can't pay back, we can only pay forward.
Pay forward. True. And
So
that's
that
so-
is an amazing lesson. You know, there was one girl who helped me doing my braids for the race day. There was one girl who got me a saddle because I was not comfortable on my saddle on the bike, and I
Okay.
used to develop bad fungal infections.
Okay.
That used to really pain a lot when I will do long rides. So somebody from the Netherlands helped me get that saddle.
Okay.
I can never repay them.
Yeah.
So I can only pay forward and help people who need my help with my knowledge or my experience or anything.
True. Very interesting.
So that is something that this taught me.
I see that how your life has been transformed from your habits to you as a person.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I was only
that's
focused
beautiful.
on my health
Yeah.
until now. You
Yeah.
know, only focused. Now I know that, you know, I've gained so much from the people all across the world that it's my duty to pay forward.
True. Very interesting. And tell us that you have achieved so much. You had the courage to start something even late in life. But now, what's the next thing? That is there anything you still want to do? Still something
Yes.
to achieve?
Something to achieve. I haven't set my next goal, but as I told you, there's something that I really want to do is, it really pains me, you know, like when women, so many amazing, intelligent, smart women, after getting married, after having kids, they are devoted, because, as I said, that because of the misogynist guilt that we are ridden, we are so devoted, completely devoted to the family, that
we do not have the
we do not have the courage to set.
That
We feel
I need my
guilty
time.
that
Yeah.
मेरे लिए मैंने अपना समय निकाल दिया, ये कैसे कर लिया मैंने, I have to compensate now.
Yeah.
You know, if we took out the time from anything that is for ourselves, we always feel guilty. We feel that now we have to overcompensate it by, you know, doing something extra. I think I'm blessed also to have
Very
an amazing, supportive family and a strong support system. But I'm also courageous to ask for what I need.
Okay.
Not every time, you know, they're going to understand. They're going to pip in your mind and figure out what you
have
want.
to say
in
it
life.
out loud.
You have to ask what you want. So I really want to see, you know, like and help women to resolve their health issues at this late in life, because I know how painful it is when you're going through menopause, because I started going through it when I started this journey. So I had everybody around me, all the doctors around me telling me, stop this first, you know, deal with your hormones first. And I figured that no, I mean, I need to do this. I need to be able to tell myself that, you
This is
know,
what you
the
want.
external factors can't discourage
Determine.
my inner strength.
Yeah.
This is something that is coming from within, and I'm going to be deal with it. So I think this is something that I really want women of my age to help with,
Okay.
to deal with,
Yeah.
and yeah.
I'm sure all the women, you know, listening to us, all the families listening to us will consider that you have to ask what you want, which is so important, and not
And I'm sure, you know, like people who love you will understand what you
yeah,
need.
yeah.
And they'll be more than happy to see you happy.
True.
Because if you are happy, eventually you will make them happy.
Yeah.
If you're not happy, you're not going to make anyone happy.
True. The point is made, and would we really be? We wish you all the best for all your endeavors, and we're
Thank you
so
so
happy to talk to you right now and get your journey, your story to all those people watching us. So thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining, and for all such interviews and inspiring stories, keep watching Vibes of India. Thank you.